So this is the Phillips 2300 full beverage coffee machine from Amazon. It's a reasonable sized machine. It is a machine that can actually take ground coffee. It can take beans and grind them for you. It can make espresso, coffee, cappuccino, and it can produce hot water for a drink. On the right hand side, we have the water reservoir, which you can take out very easily. It is removable. You can remove that, top up, slide that back in, no spillage. That works very well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the espresso, a coffee, and a cappuccino to demonstrate how it works. For the espresso, I will use the beans that are in the machine. Now there are a number of settings on here. You switch the machine on, it goes through this process. Now the lights start flickering on there in a circular motion. So basically, in going through that process normally, if it's the first time you've switched it on since making a drink previously, water will be filtered through there just to clean the machine out and to purge it of any sort of remnants of the last cup. And this is it, ready to go. I've got coffee beans in the top. In here, you have the coffee beans. I have enough probably for another couple of cups of coffee in there. I need to get some more, but there's enough to demonstrate for here. Apart from the coffee beans going in there, you can put ground coffee in the top here, which we will do for the coffee in a moment. But for the espresso, you select your espresso. It's really easy to use. Once it's switched on, you select an espresso. You can have 1 or 2 cups, and it will produce 2 lots only from beans. It won't do more than 1 cup from the ground. You have to do that manually each time. But for the espresso now, I'm going to choose 1 cup. I'm going to choose the lowest strength because I'm going to have to drink all of these samples I'm going to produce. So I press the bean and it goes through 3 options, 1, 2, and 3. So if I go to 1, that's the lowest setting. And then you've got the options for the espresso. You've got 3 different settings of the amount, the quantity of liquid you will produce. So there's 1, 2, and 3. I'll go to 3 because it's an espresso, so it will be quite small anyway. You can, in these, with the coffee and the espresso, you can program the maximum amount that you use. So that's something you can do within the settings. So I'll put my cup here. I have it on espresso. It's automatically on beans. If I want to go to ground, I hold this down. And what will happen is the little ground symbol will light up instead down there. But I'm going to now go back to 1 coffee, 3 by the quantity. Once I've done, press play. And away we go. Make sure the cup's in the right place. And that's the maximum size for an espresso. So that's the espresso produced. Just put that to the side here. Next, I'm going to use ground coffee. With the ground coffee, I'm going to do a standard size cup. So you open this top, take the ground coffee there, you put a scoop in. A scoop comes with the coffee machine. I'm just using one I've had normally, but you will get the same sort of thing which comes with the packaging. So you pour the coffee in. Make sure you close the flap because sometimes what happens is some coffee sits there and if you forget you'll get a weaker cup of coffee. So close the flap down, put your cup under, and then you choose coffee. You choose the level of strength, but I'm not going to that, I'm instead going to ground. So you hold that down. It's gone to ground, so it will now use the ground, not the beans. And then you choose the quantity you want to pour again. So I'll go to the maximum and I will press play. You have a wonderful smell of coffee as it's making these. And there you have a full cup of regular coffee. That came from ground, and that you can obviously add milk to that, or drink it black. For a cappuccino, we'll take your milk. Milk from the fridge is preferred. You pour it into this. Now you make sure that this comes in two parts. You've got the plastic container where the milk pours into. The milk gets drawn up through here, froth through, comes out and pours straight into the cup. When you clip this in, you put it under there, but make sure it's clipped in there. Otherwise, you'll fill it and it will just start to pour out. And I've had that accident happen a few times. Just add your milk. There are markers on this container to show how much. Pop your lid on, and then that just sits in there. It goes over the top and it comes down underneath. And I'm going to use ground coffee for this again. So I select the choice of cappuccino from the menu. I add my coffee. I'm going to put in 1 scoop. Add the scoop in there. Close the lid. And make sure that on the coffee bean strength, I hold that down till it bleeps and lights up underneath, showing the ground coffee. Milk's in there. And I'm then going to put the cup in place, press play. First up, it'll froth and pour the milk into the cup. Then it will add the coffee. So there we have it, a cappuccino. Of course, you also have the option then of producing water, heated water for a drink such as tea. And that would be done simply by selecting hot water and choosing the quantity and then pressing the start button. So there we have it, espresso, cappuccino, coffee, and the hot water.